So you spelled it with a P. That's cute because it's a B. Blumpkin, yeah. Like a, I don't know where the umpkin comes from. I feel like we need a referee here. We need to go to the booth.
Does he pay to get his balls trimmed?
There ain't nobody texting emojis about making eggplant parmesan. It's there because they want it to be a big old schlong. Okay, well, I was going to do a countdown, but then apparently if you label it as an intro, it makes it go as an intro. So here we are. So we're live. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you twice.
Uh-oh. Really? Why?
I'm hearing myself. I think it's because I'm logged in as the same person.
Uh-oh. Do you want to...
I'll log out and come back.
Yeah. Technical difficulties.
It's telling me I gotta end the stream.
No way.
Yeah. We'll start again.
Start it again. I don't know if it'll be the same link and we have a viewer. Viewer, can you confirm that you're legit? Okay, that doesn't work out. So I don't want to end the stream and then end the entire live. That's annoying. Me? What's that?
Can you just kick me?
Can I kick you? Yeah, probably. What's this? Kick. Cannot kick host camera or screen share out of the stream. Hold on, I'll hide you. And then I'll kick you. You cannot kick host camera or screen share out of the stream.
So I can kick you.
Okay.
So you have to log back in as the other email, I guess. So we did this backwards.
So I'm in it. Okay, go ahead. Kick me.
Nope, can't kick you. You're the host. We're both hosts.
All right, I'm going to close this and I'll be right back. Because I'm the other on the team. Hold on. If you're watching, please stay. Hold on 1 second. I'll be back.
I guess we're still live. Still worked. All right.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I don't have any videos queued or anything like that, but that's okay. All right, so...
No, I'm still hearing everything twice.
Why?
My audio input is my mic.
So I just muted you. Can you hear me? But you can't talk.
I'm hearing you twice, though.
Even when I muted you?
Yeah.
What? Why would that be? Can you... So the team that we have is my email and then the Bear Noggin podcast. And I joined in. I sent in as my email. You don't have two windows open, right? Of the same thing? Are you kidding me?
I have the YouTube open.
Are you kidding me?
I want to talk about plumpkins and.
So you spelled it with a P. That's cute because it's a B. Blumpkin, yeah. Like a, I don't know where the umpkin comes from. I feel like we need a referee here. We need to go to the booth.
Does he pay to get his balls trimmed?
There ain't nobody texting emojis about making eggplant parmesan. Parmesan. It's there because they want it to be a big old schlong.
It's working perfect. I don't know what you're talking about.
Here I was like Googling, like, what's the deal? And everybody's like, nothing happened to me.
Nothing. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I was trying to be like helpful,
proactive.
right?
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I'm gonna sit in YouTube and be like a waiter for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot about that. And I was just hearing us twice.
Cool. Well, at least that's figured out, because that could have been really annoying if on your
Yeah.
end. I mean, I would have been like, let's just go with it, and you would have had to hear us twice.
So,
You got a
and
new
yeah,
back?
I was the viewer too.
I know. Because I'm like, oh no,
I'm
well,
still here. I'm still here. I didn't leave.
Viewer left.
Oh man.
Oh, what an ordeal.
That's like when we first started gaming problems. Remember we'd be hearing each other twice and what is it? And like, you have the stream on? Oh yeah, I do.
That was pretty bad.
I'm hearing footsteps. Guys, I
Yeah.
swear I'm hearing footsteps.
Are they yours? Do you have my stream up? Yeah. Yeah, so I have my big honking headphones on because we have transitions that, for whatever reason, my setup, like,
Yeah.
if I have my headphones off, I can only hear what you say through my computer, and then everything through the headset. So whatever, it is what it is.
I'm moved. Do you notice?
I thought maybe you just put up a new background.
So I built this background for product photos and stuff, and I moved, and I'm on my MacBook, moved my mic, got my lights and everything. I just didn't like two things that were happening in the old spot, and I think eventually I'll be back there, but I got to figure it out. One, I feel like my audio sounds bad still. So I'm trying different. I have this right next to me so I can put it really close to me. We're going to see if that makes a difference. And my lighting was super shiny, and I think it was my two big monitors put too much light on my face.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know
And
how
you
to
don't want to
get
have to
rid
go
of
back
that.
and forth and change the brightness every time you have a
Right.
podcast.
Right. And I didn't know how to get rid of that short of just not using them. So I'm just using my MacBook screen, which isn't nearly as bright, clearly. I feel like I'm not nearly as shiny as I
your
was in
lighting's
the
good.
past.
What you need to do
And
is
we're
get one of
similar distance now.
Yeah, it looks like we're kind of like next to each other, actually, in the same room almost. But what you need to get is one of those big old-fashioned big powder puffs and just remember the
Right.
old-fashioned movies?
I know it.
Big old powder, and then all
I
the
gotta start
shine will
wearing
be.
hats like you do, because then that you wouldn't have the shine up here.
Yeah, if I don't have this hat on, you see like 2 light bulbs from my ceiling on my forehead. So I took care of that issue.
Oh,
So I've been curious, what's the deal with the shoulder? Did you get it checked out?
yeah, so I went and got my MRI last week. So I've done 2 MRIs in my life. Have you done any?
I've done one for my
Yeah.
shoulder when I injured it.
So I've done 2, one for my knee and one for my shoulder. My knee, they just stuck my leg in. My shoulder, I had to go all the way in. Didn't bother me at all. People freak out about them. I don't get it. But so yeah, I went and got the MRI done last Tuesday. Then I went on Monday. Then I went to the doctor on Tuesday, and I have a fractured shoulder with a partially torn rotator cuff.
That doesn't sound good. None of that sounds great.
So they did an X-ray of it, MRI of it. He shows me this big, bright white line that makes like this half circle right on like the ball in my shoulder here. It starts here and it comes down. So this part is fractured, and it's right
Wow.
where the outside of it is right where the tendons hook onto your shoulder to move everything. He had some fancy medical term for it. I don't know what it was, but the last part was it's either displaced or not displaced, meaning the chip comes off and it moves, or the chip is still where it's supposed to be and it's just fractured, but it's still like in place. Thankfully, mine's still in place. So, but potentially it can just be 2 weeks of heal time and it'll like fuse back together, which would be great, right? Because I did some research on if it's not, if it is displaced, and it's just like screws everywhere into it. So I'm really
Mm.
hoping to avoid that. But
When do you get to figure that out?
I go back not tomorrow, but the next Tuesday, I think. Yeah. That'll be about
So
2 weeks.
has your wife cooled off at all about the prospect of you not doing any yard work?
Yeah. So I've probably done more than she wants me to. It's been so
Okay.
nice here. I'm sure it's been nice by you too, but it's
Yeah,
like
it's been very nice.
I've been doing everything one-handed as best as I can, so I
Mhm.
scraped all the weeds off of this brick walkway we had, and I just used one hand to scrape it off. I got the blower out and I blew it, into a pile. I pull the weeds with one hand. So I'm just a one hand magic man over here. But she's been picking up the slack, and she actually shoveled the mulch into the one of the beds we redid. So we've been trying to get stuff done, but I have not been helpful.
So are you so whenever my wife has mowed our grass, I felt like and actually we heard a comedian talk about this too. I feel like I've gotta go around and tell my neighbors, "Hey, she wanted to do this." Like, I'm not making her do this. This
Right.
is her choice, you know? She
Yeah.
doesn't typically like to do it, but she's done it a couple times, and I just don't want people to think that, like, "Wow,
You're requiring it.
what's going on over there?" Like, he can't even mow his own grass, or, yeah, like, blink twice if you're not okay, mowing the grass.
Right. My
So
neighbor's been awesome. We actually, I would say this is our first time we've been at a house where we've actually met the neighbor relatively soon. My MO was to not meet them, and then you get like too long, right? Like it's been 8 months, and I don't even know your name yet. I'm just never gonna know
yeah.
you. Like it's just that's what's gonna happen now. I will, if you're outside, I will pull in facing the other direction so I avoid you. But they, we met them right away, and they're really nice and they're really, friendly, and they got two daughters that are similar age as my kids, so they've been playing a lot. So he's been
Okay.
super nice, and he's mowed my lawn for me twice since my
Mhm.
shoulder, injury, which has been helpful. But my yard isn't big, it's
Yeah.
all my yard's in the back and it's all overgrown. So the front yard is like, maybe 200 square feet of grass to mow. That's it. And it's right next to his yard. So he just mows it, which is super nice.
Mhm. That's
So he's
nice.
been picking up the slack for the yard work for me, which has been awesome. And then, yeah, my wife's been doing the flowers and weeding and stuff like that.
It's really hard when it's been that time frame, like, for your neighbors. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we aren't friends by now. Like, what are we? Like, like, I feel like there should be a label here because, especially because, you have friendly conversations, you talk and things like that, and I'm also bad about names. If you've given me your
Oh,
name, obviously, you know your neighbors' names because it's like they're on the block or whatever for the most part, but if they've told me what they've done, like, what they do for a living,
yeah.
or if they tell me any pertinent information that I can't ask for now, it's been way too long. Like, if I ask you, "Oh, what do you do?" "What do you mean? I've been here 8 months. You've been my neighbor this long?" Like, it's super awkward to ask people what they do after that a certain amount of time that you should know, really.
I, so our neighbor, I would say for the most part, I don't know many of my neighbors' names. I know this one. So, like previous houses, I didn't know hardly anybody, but we never lived in like a HOA or anything where like,
Yeah.
where there's like a community posting where you can, find out where these people are. I never lived in one of those. So, but this current neighbor, I know their names because when we first moved in, they brought us some like cookies or something, which is super nice. But they
Mhm.
put a card with it, and not a Hallmark card like we talked about. It was
Right.
just like a notepad on it, right? Like welcome to the neighborhood, you
Mhm.
know. And they signed their two names and their two daughters' names. So thankfully we kept that. And I was able to just look at it over and over again, and now I, remember their names.
Yeah.
But had they not
But
done that, never would have remembered.
or if they wrote that card, gave it to you, and you're like, "Oh, that's nice, thanks," and then you threw it away, and then a month later, you're like, "Shoot, what are their names?" It's like, they
Right?
told me basically what their names are now, I can't ask. because you know they're
Right.
gonna be like, "Well, we sent you a card."
Essentially the card. They tested
Yeah.
me. But yeah,
Mhm.
I know his name. I can't think of her name right now, but it would come to me.
Yeah, and it's probably too late, so you'll just
Yeah.
never know. Okay, so let's start our first segment here. It's called
Yeah.
Three Truths and a Lie.
Awesome.
Look at that, huh?
Nice.
Okay, so I subscribe, and we've done this before, but it's been a little while. I subscribe to a publication that I get emailed to me every day. It's called the Morning Brew.
Yep.
If anybody watching this wants a referral code, it's completely free, but it's a really, really awesome. This is not sponsored by them. I feel like I gotta shout them out if I'm going to use some of their content. So um, this is Three Truths and a Lie, where I give you um, four stories, and you have to tell me which one you think is legit.
All right.
So let
I'm
me,
gonna get it right this time.
yeah. And I had all this pulled up, so hold up one sec. Okay. I had it all pulled up before you pulled your stunt at the beginning. So all right. So I know the answer. I think sometimes in the future, can you see that okay? Sometime in the future, I am not going to know the answer, so I can guess with you. But you can see
I
this?
can't see anything.
Okay.
I see us
Um,
still. On the side I have the video sharing. I can say show
oh,
on
that's what
stream.
I did. That's what I did. Okay. I didn't show on stream. That's fine.
There you go. All right.
Okay. So 3 headlines and a lie. So the first one is IKEA is holding raves as part of new customer experience.
Okay.
Which you've been to an IKEA, right?
I've been to IKEA. It'd be a good rave spot. And I mean, Sweden's, they get a little rowdy. I could see them doing raves.
Yeah, meatballs flying everywhere.
Right.
I think a meatball bar, that could be pretty cool. Plus, it's hard to leave that place, right? You have to go through the maze to get out.
Right.
So
Once you're in.
I
Yeah,
feel like
if they put the rave in the middle, you were there for a
right,
while.
exactly. Okay, so number 2, a Minnesota man invented a motorcycle that runs on beer.
I mean, that checks out. It's the right state.
This
Had they been
that
like
sounds
California, I would have been like, probably not. But Minnesota, that checks out.
right. That's on brand for a
Yep.
Minnesota man. You know how you hear Florida man and you're like, "Oh God, what happened?"
Yeah.
But a Minnesota man, there's probably beer involved.
Right.
A Colorado man
Or
tries.
Colorado man.
Who knows? This might be on brand. A Colorado man tries to trade places with dog to avoid DUI arrest. Come here, switch me.
I mean, what's the worst offense? Having your dog drive or DUI? It might be DUI, so it makes,
Yeah,
like,
but I
officer,
mean, who are you fooling? This dude was so drunk that he thought he could pull a fast and over on the cop by switching it was the dog. I'm fine. He
fine.
asked me if I felt safe to drive, and I said no. So okay. Number 4, concert venue, quote, Crowders will guard your spot during a bathroom break. So they have people on staff. You got to hit the bathroom. You got a good spot in the concert. I mean, there must be an app or something. You call them in and they'll sit in your spot so you don't lose it.
Interesting. That's an interesting idea. Is that like,
Mhm.
do you think that that's put on by the concert venue, or is this like a third party where you can sign up to be a crowder and you just go to the concert and then you get paid to do it?
Mhm. Yeah, you could do either one, I would say.
But how are you going to get
And
to their spot? Like, if you're just there and you sign up for this and you're not in a
yeah.
good spot, how are you going to get to them without having some official jacket on?
Yeah, I didn't say it was a good a business venture, but I think that it sounds legit. So, all right. So, IKEA holding raves. Minnesota man invented a motorcycle that runs on beer. Colorado man tries to trade places with dog to avoid DUI. And concert venue Crowders will guard your spot during bathroom break.
Oh man, these are tough. I thought I was going to
They're
get
tough.
this one. So I feel like Colorado man, that's a true. I feel
Hmm.
like that's got to be true.
I mean,
Um,
that's pretty funny. So,
it's funny, and I could, yeah,
yeah.
you're drunk, you think you do stupid stuff. Minnesota man, I could see someone trying to do that, but is that like scientifically is that possible?
Yeah, but like, how could you like beer's not combustible, right?
Right, that's what I'm thinking. Like, unless it ferments enough, does it become combustible if it
Mm,
ferments enough?
Maybe. I mean, they have water-powered cars. Maybe he just dumped beer in a
An alcoholic
water-powered
is flammable.
motorcycle.
To get a strong enough beer. IKEA. I want to say that one's not true. Like if I had to just go initial gut, IKEA's not true because they're too big of a brand. I feel like
Yeah.
do that. Like there's
Right.
just so much liability, so many things go into that. I would think would not be worth the liability protection they would need.
Mhm.
And then the Crowders, I don't go to enough concerts to know the etiquette. Like my gut tells me it's kind of like move your feet, lose your seat. If it's unless it's like a seated concert where you actually buy your aisle and
Yeah, but then who's picking who's going to sit in your seat then? You know what I mean? Like it's got to be
right. That's
standing
what I'm
room
saying.
only.
Like it's got to be like an outdoor concert where it's just like they open the gates and you run to the front.
Mhm.
But then it's
Yeah.
like, how are you going to guard that spot? You're just going to get pushed around. So
And is it going to have to be like just this big dude that nobody wants to push?
right. But again, we never said it was a good idea. Doesn't mean it's not
Right.
happening.
That's true.
I'm going with my gut. It's going to be wrong. I don't know. I'm going IKEA. IKEA's the lie.
Okay. You think IKEA is the one
And that's
lie?
just from a pure like business mindset, right? Like I think about
You
if
don't
I
think
had
it's a
a
good idea?
store like and that wasn't set up as a club or a restaurant, like that would be the last thing I would think I would try to, you know, work into my business model as a furniture sales place.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Swedish though, I mean, we don't know much about the Swedish.
No, we don't, but
The
that's what I'm going
Swedes.
with. I'll go with IKEA's the lie.
All right. Here's the answer. We made up the one about the Crowders.
Wow. So it was
Yep.
a bad
So
idea, and that's why it's not true.
but they're having raves. A Minnesota man invented a motorcycle that runs on beer. Colorado man tries to trade places with dog to avoid DUI arrest.
All right.
So those things did happen.
So
I want to click on
my
this.
two that I said were true, I was right. I just the
Mhm.
last I got it wrong.
Yeah,
I
I
just
just wanted to
man,
see.
why would I like what is IKEA doing? Like
The officer that pulled over the guy that moved the dog into his seat. An officer watched him maneuvering inside the car before he got out on the passenger side. So so he not only did he saw who was sitting in his passenger seat, he got out of the passenger side and was like, "Hey, officer, yeah, it's my dog driving."
it's my dog.
Said he was not behind the wheel. Clearly showed signs of being drunk. He ran from the officer when asked about how much he had to drink and was caught within 20 yards. So he didn't stick with the deal. He didn't like that was his shtick and he admit to it.
And he bailed on it. He started it and he
And he
bailed on it.
bailed. Yep, and he
So
ran.
you gotta commit to the bit for sure.
Yep. Got to commit to the bit, man.
But
I give him credit though, because that's some quick thinking, even when you are inebriated. Well, I feel like if anything was in the seat next to him, like if it was his coat, like it just happened to be a dog.
I feel like so I have a dog that's relatively large, like 80 pounds. And like
Mhm.
I just like I just know how he gets when I show like any amount of excitement or like quick moving. And you got to think like this guy had to move quick. Like you got to get out, get your dog up there. If I started doing that and I was yelling at my dog like get up in the front seat, it would just be mass chaos in my car. And my dog
Mhm.
wouldn't know where to go, what to do, but it would just be level 10 for everything.
Well, maybe it
You
was an
know?
old dog. And also I
Go.
want to know what kind of dog it was. Like was it like a big dog that could reach the pedals or was it a little like
I
nervous
mean, it's
little
not reaching the
chihuahua?
bottom pedals no matter what, right? I mean,
Yeah. I just wish that I could see that like that body cam
yeah.
footage. Like
Put the
that's
tiny
pretty
rat terrier in the front seat.
yeah, that's pretty good. I don't think I know you don't drink.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I just don't to be honest, I think there was probably like one or two times where and I was like brand new to drinking
Yeah.
where I was like, that one was borderline, but even then, I don't think I would have had the wherewithal to like trade places or use props or anything
Yeah.
like that if I would have gotten pulled over. So
Have
anyway,
you ever had drinking experiences where you don't remember, like
yes.
blackout? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Particularly, we had an office party where I was a little floozy back in the day. I was a little floozy, and I I talked to my wife brings this up every now and then when she feels like
Yeah.
calling me it, I don't know, making me feel weird. But I made out with three, and this is like, oh, he made out, but so it's like I don't have any crazy like wild jacked up with people stories, but I made out with three different girls. So I was like 22, 23 at this point
Yeah.
in one night. And the one girl had she was a pretty girl, but she had some teeth on her. Okay.
Oh,
She had some teeth that just happened to stick out of her mouth a little more. They
yeah.
protruded. And um there's accounts, there are people that could tell you this, that um so I like kissed her over a picnic table. Both of us were like stupid drunk. Kissed her over a picnic table. So there was an obstacle, right? There was there was an obstacle there that kind of complicated things. So we went in and we hit
Oh.
teeth, and it was audible. Clink. But did I let that stop me?
No.
No.
Gotta
Nope.
finish the job.
You got to finish it because you can't just hit teeth and go, well, it wasn't meant to be.
Yep. That would be a problem for me, to be honest. Like
The
my wife
teeth?
and I talk about it a lot. My wife gives me a hard time because I am very much like a teeth person. Not in like, oh, I like teeth, but like it's
They
a
have to
huge
be.
turn off. Like bad teeth, I can't deal with it.
Yeah. Same. But also, I mean, it's not like our wives could turn around tomorrow and wake up and have bad teeth. Like, it's just one of those things that we probably, like, you would have had to have make up for it in a lot of different areas to
Yeah, no,
deal
like
with.
that was a checkbox that had to be checked by my wife when I met her. That the train never left the station. Actually, I met her, and there was crooked teeth in there. I would have went right by.
Really?
That was a
That
that
was
was
a
a must
deal
have.
breaker.
Straight teeth, and not even straight. I won't even say straight. It's just you can't have craziness.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and they've got to be, obviously they've got to be, you got to brush, you know,
right?
it's got to,
Yeah,
they can't be like
right.
nasty,
Nasty, missing
Austin
teeth, rotten
Powers
teeth.
teeth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
No,
But
I get that. And I'm sorry for anyone listening that's got bad teeth, but there's someone out there for you.
I mean, Invisalign, it's pretty cheap these days.
Yeah, I did it. I didn't have the greatest teeth,
Yeah,
honestly.
there you
Apparently
go.
that wasn't a big deal for my wife.
Good thing.
So okay. So the next thing I wanted to do, and this is actually really funny. So after I do this video, you've got to tell me, I've got a question for you. So after I
Okay.
do this transition video. So that picture.
You went deep.
I was looking for the most ridiculous one, and
I'm
I had
fine
just
in
a,
that picture.
you're fine, and I made
Yeah,
it look like you were without, I just found it, so I didn't have time to Photoshop like you into the sky.
yeah.
So let's show people again real quick.
I don't even know what's in my hand. I'm holding something that looks like yellowish in my hand. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if were you in a play? What was this? Was this a Halloween
Halloween.
costume?
This
Ah,
was group. This was college. Probably my sophomore year of college. Group Halloween outfits,
mm-hmm.
and we went as the Peter Pan crew. And of course, I'm Peter Pan. I mean,
Yeah,
no
and
big deal.
you wore the tights. You went the
Wore the
whole way.
tights. My wife, my then girlfriend, I don't even think we were engaged yet. She made me the whole outfit.
Mm,
So I was Peter Pan. She was Tinkerbell. A good friend of mine was Hook. Another good friend of mine was Shmee. And
nice.
then somebody else was a crocodile. The crocodile, I think, maybe.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I think that was it. That was kind of the group that we went with. No Lost Boys. We didn't have enough people, but yeah, the year before that, we were Wizard of Oz.
Okay. That's cool.
Um,
I wish I mean,
group.
that's cool. What about, so these days? You
Yeah.
think we could convince you getting into some tights for a little group costume,
Oh,
or
yeah.
oh, really?
I'm not a hard sell. Trying to
You're
think
just
the
like,
last time I went. Last time I dressed up for Halloween. I don't know. I don't know that we ever. I know when we had our first kid, my wife did she had an apron on and she had the chef's hat on, and then she carried the baby in the baby carrier and then
mhm,
built like a paper bowl underneath it and then had spaghetti on its head. So it was like, the baby was the pot of spaghetti that she was making.
yeah, that's
I
funny.
don't know if I was anything in that or not. I don't remember. Maybe I was like a waiter or something.
Mhm.
But we haven't done many. I haven't dressed up myself in many years now. But yeah, we
You
did
still
like every year in college. It was fun.
you still have the tights?
No.
I feel like you had the tights and you're like, "What can I do to use these for a costume?" These green
That was
tights.
I wish I had that whole outfit. I mean, it would never fit me today. I
Yeah.
was, I was probably 150 pounds back then.
All right, well, the bit is what would Erickson do? So it had nothing to do with the picture. I just went and found that one and it made me laugh,
Okay.
so so, all right, what would Erickson do? So I'm gonna show you a TikTok, and I wanna ask a couple questions about it, so
Here we are, stop and go traffic, stuck behind a garbage truck. And a lot of cars are trying to use the shoulder to pass and cut us all. And to them, I say, not today. Sometimes in life, you have to stand up for what's right. And if we're all going to wait, we're all going to wait together. And this guy in the Kia behind me is trying to cut us all. Well, guess what, buddy?
Not today.
He didn't account for me. That's right. Sometimes in life, you have to stand up for what you believe in.
I see, man. You having a blast right now, huh? What if I got an emergency? What if I have an emergency or something? What if I'm late for something?
Well, I felt like you didn't.
Like you did it.
I wanna know, who are you in that video? Are
Um, I
you the
I
guy
block.
stopping everyone?
Yep, I block everyone.
You
I've done
block.
it. I have done
Really?
that exact thing. When there's a merge happening and I
Mhm.
know it's coming and the right lane ends and everyone's trying to, zip around and use the ending lane to cut everyone off and then cut
Yeah.
in, I go
Mhm.
right on the line. I block them all. My wife
So
hates it.
does she she probably hates it because so what happened in that video was the guy that was trying to get by him
Yeah.
pulls up next to him and goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're having a great time, aren't you?"
Yep.
My favorite part is he's like, "What if I was in an emergency? What if I was hurt? What if I needed somewhere to be?" And he's like, I felt like you didn't."
I felt like you did. Yeah. That's a
So
fantastic response. But no, yeah, I'm that guy. One of my bigger joys in life actually is not blocking traffic. Like I do that. Like I've done that before. I don't mind doing that. But like leaving a event, like a
mm,
concert or like a county fair where everyone leaves at the same time. You got all the
mhm,
traffic trying to leave and you got different parking lanes trying to merge into the one exit lane and all of that.
mhm.
Joy of my life is playing chicken in those situations,
Wow.
and I have 100% record. They always stop.
So I've never done that, but um it's because I am thinking of the possibility. I know that it's probably not somebody that's in an emergency. I
Yeah,
know that. But also like it's not I feel like it's not my place to decide. But however, if somebody did it and it was springing a leak of just cars and cars and I'm sitting there like, and it's been
yeah,
like way too long, I might get a little frisky about it. But like okay, so here's another situation. So if you're driving and you're in the furthest you're 2 lanes in from the left and the left lane is closing and
yeah,
you're driving up and somebody's speeding up to get in
yep,
when really it's not like a zipper situation. They're trying to beat you to that spot. Do
yeah,
you speed up?
yeah.
You
Absolutely,
do. Yeah.
I do. I speed up. I speed up to a point, right? I make them
Right.
work for it. Like, you're gonna go 90 if you're gonna get past me here. And if you're willing to do that, go for the spot.
Yeah.
But
you don't want to cause an accident.
No, I'm not gonna like put my own self in danger just to block them. But they're gonna work to get around me and do that for sure. But blocking the merge or like that situation, I would do that. Playing chicken when you're like going slow and you're like taking turns and you get the guy that doesn't think that he's got to let people take turns.
Right.
I call his bluff every time. Granted, I've been poor most of my life, so I've always had the crappier car, which is easy to win when you got the worst car. So,
that's who always wins.
That's who always wins, and it was always me. So.
And you have that like quick calculation in your head, like, oh, well, he's got a little Ford Focus from like 1995, and I'm
right.
Yeah, he's probably waiting for that thing to die on the side of the road. So go ahead, you got it. You're good.
Yeah. So not to do with cars, but it reminded me, I had an altercation just yesterday at a youth soccer game.
Oh, no. Whose fault was the altercation?
It was mine, but it was a misunderstanding.
That's big of you to admit.
So my kids' team, they had this. So it's 12-year-olds, right? And they all call fouls on themselves, which I don't get. I can't. They foul somebody, and then they stick their hands up in the air, like, oh. And it's like, you're just telling the ref you just fouled them. Like, just keep running, and if they blow the whistle, then stop. Or if someone gets hurt, like, they're 12 years old, right? So they get hit in the stomach and they all fall to their knees, and then the whole world stops. It's like, they're not actually hurt, right? The ref will look. If they're hurt, he'll blow the whistle. But until he blows the whistle, play the game, right? Like, don't stop. Like, especially when it's in possessions in our favor. So that's happened at the game. And the other team's kid got hit in the chest with the ball or something. Again, they're 12 years old. The ball's not going 60 miles an hour.
Right.
Like, it wasn't even in the face. It was in the chest. And and he was completely fine. He fell down to a knee, and our whole team stopped. And I yelled out. I said, don't stop. And here was the problem. I didn't think much. The words just came out. I said, don't stop. Let him whine.
Oh, no.
So then there was usually so all the parents sit on the same side of the field, but usually it's split, half and half. Well, for some reason, this dad, hardcore dad, I guess, stood the whole game, and he was down on our side because that's the side that his kid was probably playing on, I guess. Maybe it was even his kid that got hurt. I don't know. But he turns to me and he goes, they're kids. And like, I kind of looked at him and I was like, he's like, and he goes, don't forget it. I'm like, okay. Like, I didn't think they were, 6'5" professional soccer players out there.
Oh gosh, darn!
Sorry, I forgot
so much.
Like,
I was hoping I could take them out for drinks after the game.
Right? Like, okay, and it's just like at the same time, like, yeah, I get they're kids, but like, we don't need to stop every time one of them thinks they're hurt because they're kids, right? They're fine. They need to learn how to work through. Getting a ball, and they all want to foul every time they get kicked. Like, one kid on our team just got blasted in the face, literally blasted in the face. Hurt, guaranteed it hurt, And the mom of that kid on our team was like, "That's not a foul," and I'm like, "No, there's no rule about not getting kicked in the face. Like,
no,
it's soccer. It's gonna happen. Like."
Yeah. Probably on a little higher level of competitiveness than most of the parents around there. Don't stop. Let them whine.
Right. So I had a poor choice of words of let them whine. My sentiment was, though, because this was a reoccurring thing with our players on our team, is this idea of stopping when no whistle's blown, right? So I'm trying to, tell them, like, don't stop, right? Play until the whistle goes and then stop. The ref will ref the game. You don't have to as a 12-year-old boy, you know?
Yeah, right.
One dad
sure.
didn't like that. My choice of words could have been better, I guess.
So after that, like, did you pipe down? Did
No.
you did you say something back?
No. I was about to. Like, literally, I was like, okay. And
Did you
my
get the
mouth
wife's
was
touch? You got the
open.
wife.
My mouth was open, and Nicole goes, enough.
She knew what we were in for. She knew what was going
I was
on.
like, okay.
Rein in your man. Oh.
I thought, oh, only got one good arm. Still probably could take him, I think. But don't need to turn, what could be a 2-week heel into an actual surgery, because I don't really want to spend the money on that. But
what if you like got into the little tussle and you forgot about it, and it would be you'd be like, all right, let's go. Okay, out. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Time out from the game. I can only assume I will run into those issues when my kids start playing sports.
I mean, I've gotten better when my oldest son played soccer the first time. He was like 3, older than 4, 5. I mean, young, right? It's been many years since he played soccer, and that was harder for me than this age. Like, and you think like you should be like, Sam, they're 5 years old. You shouldn't have expected. It's so hard to watch them not do anything. Like, I literally would have to get up and walk away. And like, I look back now, I'm like, what? Why was it so hard for me? Like, he was 5. Like, he should be out there running around. Who cares what happens? The problem is you get some 5-year-olds who play, right? And you got some kids that just don't pay attention at all. And it's like, you just want them to be like focused. Like, you don't gotta score a goal, but just like be in the moment.
Right.
They're just like, oh, I can't watch this anymore. I gotta walk away.
Oh, and then you got some parents that are just treating it like photo ops, like, oh, that's so nice, and you're just like, come on,
just want it, just
move
want to
ass.
win. Come on.
Oh man, I don't know if I could do that either.
But now that they're older, it's easier because they can reason, right? You can yell at them, be like, hey, that's your position, right? Like, you're not there. Get there. And they're like, oh, and they run to the spot, and they understand. They still make mistakes, and they still, start daydreaming and not paying attention, or start, they get mesmerized by ball watching, and they just watch the ball. And they're like, oh yeah, I should go get that,
What are sports? All right, so we got our next segment coming up, and you'll appreciate this, I believe.
Awesome.
So no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So typically, our absolutely nots are some sort of daring feat, right? Some sort of death-defying maneuver. Yeah. We're like, absolutely not. What we haven't done yet is we haven't discussed eating weird things or gross things.
Ooh.
Right? Yeah. Because big absolutely not for me.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat.
Okay, so let me know what you think of this, and I'm pretty sure I know your answer.
อันนี้ก็คติดังបងសុំយកមួយសិនយើងជួយលក់ចឹងមកលក់ជោគចឹងមកណែដាក់ចឹងហើយអូយបងប្អូន
No way. It can't be good.
The whole tarantula.
It can't be good.
Did you see her face? She was saying,
Yeah.
But
she was like, it's furry.
I'm going to play it real quick because you can see some of these spiders. You can see them wiggling still. So I don't know.
Yeah, are they still alive?
Yeah. But I don't know if they were like stoned or what she had them in, or she boiled them and there was still a little bit of life left. But look at them wiggle.
อันนี้ก็คติดังបងសុំយកមួយសិនយើងជួយលក់ចឹងមកលក់ជោគចឹងមក
And then the dipping sauce. The dipping sauce alone is an absolutely not to me.
Right. The sauce tells me that's how you know it's bad. When you got to coat the thing, you
But
know,
what is the sauce? The sauce almost looks like you were put a human being through a wood chipper. And you're like, "Oh, that's just my Spider Dunkin' sauce. That's all that is." See, hold on. And that's I want you to focus on the fact she's like convincing herself it's good. Like, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
for the video or if somebody's like off camera with a gun pointed to her or what's going on. But
See the legs. The legs are coming in.
That's so gross.
The legs are moving. Did you see that?
Yep. He's like forcing
she's like,
her enjoyment.
eyes are squinting like, get it down. Get it down. Get it down. Oh, disgusting.
Absolutely not.
Not a chance. I couldn't do the fur on the outside. I couldn't do the crunchiness of the bones. I couldn't do the pop that's going to happen with that thing on the back of it. So many textures that are going on with that thing that are just absolutely not for me.
No sauce on this earth could let me. Could make me enjoy that.
Have you seen the TikToks? And then, I mean, they're always Asian women. Like, that's just, they eat some freaky stuff over there. I don't understand why. Have you seen the TikToks of the Asian women that we eat the very suggestive looking things?
Yeah, like the
and it's like
videos,
and it makes a squeaky like slurping sound, and it's like those whatever animals are that shoot out of the sand in the water, and they they look exactly what you think they look like, and they bite the tip off of it.
What do they look like, Eric?
They look like a penis. Not only that, a penis with like stuff coming out of the tip of it, like because they come up and they squirt water out of them. Freakiest thing. And she grabs these things and she dunks them in sauce, right? They always got to put it in sauce because it's bad. And it makes the loudest, sloppiest.
And it's always like the ASMR. Like they've got a microphone close to their mouth.
I don't like it. I don't like food. I know some people like that stuff. I do not like. I don't want to hear you eat anything. I don't, even if it was good food, steak. I don't want to hear you chew steak. Like, there's nothing about it that is good to me.
Same. My wife went to Asia in college, and she ate. I think they called them grasshoppers, but they were not grasshoppers. I think they were roaches. I think they were actual roaches or something. Yeah, she said that I think she said something about them tasting like peanuts or something. And so that's an absolutely not for me. I don't think I will be eating any bugs voluntarily. That's for sure. They say we eat bugs all the time.
Any of that?
What?
You ever eaten any like chocolate covered bugs or anything?
Never.
Me. My wife has. She was in New Zealand and she ate some there. But I've never done any of it, and I never will. Nope.
Yeah. No, thank you. And that is going to be a forever absolutely not for me.
Yeah, forever absolutely not. I do not. There's things that I like to do, and there's new things I would try, but I'm never like, oh, I gotta try everything at least once. Not me. Nope. I know if I want to try it, and I don't want to try it, and that's something where it's like, nope, I don't need it. But some people out there like, I gotta try at least once. Like I'll do anything once. No.
Yeah. I don't know. So if I was in Vietnam or something and we were traveling and it was like a delicacy, it would have to be like a fancy restaurant for them to be like, "Oh, would you like to try this cricket?" And I'd be like, I mean, I guess so. But I wouldn't be like some back alley, gathering them up near a garbage can or even just like those little markets where they're just frying them up on the side. And you're like, nah, that's okay. I'm American. I don't like it here.
Yeah. I eat real food. I don't do that.
I eat real food. It's called McDonald's, and so.
But like, I would do. There's certain things like, I would do like the frog on a stick. I would try that. Like, there's a certain level, right, where it becomes like food, I guess, to me. And I guess it needs to be big enough to where I can actually just like eat meat off of it. right?
Yeah, I
If
agree
it's
with
small
that.
enough where you got to pop the whole thing in to eat it because that's just how you got to eat it, I don't think I want it. If it's big enough to where I can actually take the meat off of it, I'm open to trying more things.
Or if it's like engineered in a way, or just like you fry the crap out of it and you can make it taste like something else, I could do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you told me that this was earthworm, but it's fried and salted and it tastes like McDonald's fries, then I would think about it.
Think about it. I've done the have you ever done the crab, the whole crab, like soft shell
Yeah.
crab?
Yeah.
They deep
I've
fry
done
the
that.
whole thing and then you
Oh,
eat it.
no.
Yeah. So
Really?
they
I
do
didn't know
it.
that was a thing.
Yeah, it's only they're only in season for a certain time. So it's a crab that, sheds its shell and it's soft. The shell is
Mm.
soft for a given period of time. And, if they catch it when it's soft, and of course there's a time of year when all these crabs are shedding their shell. So you can get it at certain, restaurants. And my wife and I went to a restaurant one time when they were like, "Oh, the special today is soft shell blue crab because, we only have it for 2 weeks." We're like,
Mm.
"Oh, let's try it." Not really knowing what we were getting, right?
Yeah.
Well, literally, the whole crab comes out. You can tell it's a crab. You can see the shape of it. You can see the claws and legs. The whole thing comes out deep fried, and they just on your plate. So we had to ask the guy. We're like, "What do we do with this?" He's like,
Yeah.
you eat the whole thing," and we
Wow.
did. It was
So
good.
you, so you probably ate things that you normally wouldn't have
I
because
would
it was
not
all
have, yeah,
deep fried.
right. But
Yeah.
but again, nothing was crunchy on it because crab have no bones inside
Right.
their shell.
Right.
So the shell was soft. That was deep fried. So the shell was almost just like a crunchy, fried chicken layer, right? The deep fried
Mhm.
layer. And the inside was mostly meat with some other stuff, obviously, but nothing was like, crunchy that you were biting down on.
So there was a video that I almost used as an absolutely not, but until I found that one, I was like, oh, I might. So it was another tarantula, but they used like a blowtorch to torch
Yeah.
its hairs off of its body. All the
Okay.
little nasty hairs,
Yeah.
and then they deep fried it, and it was just like this. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it looked like a little tasty little morsel, little spider morsel that looked, you might see on an appetizer somewhere.
I still don't think I could because of the bones. They're going to be crunchy.
They don't have bones. They don't have
Spiders
bones.
don't have bones?
No, there's no bones.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no bones. They might
They
have
they have an exoskeleton. Is that what it's called?
yes, I believe so.
Okay.
So that might
All
go
right.
away or soften with deep frying.
Yeah. Okay.
You'd be open to that with some nice seasoning,
Yeah, I could do it. I could do it easier if it was deep fried 'cause I couldn't see it. Because I've eaten like the whole, little squids,
Yes.
calamari,
Yeah.
right, or octopuses even. They're the tiny ones, and you can tell it's the head and the legs, and you
Oh,
pop that guy
geez.
in.
I think I've just had like the tentacle
Right.
calamari. Yeah.
But you're actually not having a tentacle. You're having the
Don't
long.
tell me it's the squid penis.
You're
Don't
having
do
the
it.
hood of the
Oh.
calamari. That's why
Oh.
it's a circle. Tentacles aren't a circle.
Yeah.
So it's the hood. They pull it off the head, and then they chop the hood up, and that's the rings.
What do
you're
they do with the
having.
rest of it?
What's that?
They literally the rest of it. What do they do with it?
I don't know. If you have something with legs on it, most likely it's an octopus. And it's a tiny little octopus that they deep fry the whole thing.
Man, I don't know what it is. I love octopus, so I don't know why. The way I said that felt really weird too.
Yeah, I love octopus.
Here's what I did. I didn't want to be the pretentious. I love octopi. And then I didn't want
Really
to be
emphasize the puss though.
because I didn't want to be the dumbed down version of I love octopuses. So I like got to the edge there, and then I'm like, I like octopus, and it sounded worse. So I wish I would have taken the high road there. Okay. Anyway, so we're getting to the point here.
Yep.
To the meat and potatoes of the show.
Oh my goodness.
So before we get here, because this is gonna be like the last segment of our recording here, but so I guess we don't normally do this. We need to start doing it, but we need to ask people to like and subscribe, right, and share.
Yep.
Because if not, nobody else is going to hear me talk about octopus. So it's this podcast is on. This is on YouTube Live right now. We'll be on our YouTube channel at Bear Noggin Podcast, and then on TikTok, Bear Noggin Pod, right?
Yep.
And as of right
And
now, that's the only. And Spotify.
It'll
and
be on
Apple.
Spotify after the live.
That's right, and Apple Podcast and Amazon Music, all the places that podcasts will be. Having said that, in previous episodes, we've talked about a certain book that that we've begun reading.
Yes,
and you told me today that you've completed the first chapter.
I did.
Okay.
I almost didn't stop.
Okay,
I could have kept going, but I stopped.
I have a graphic for this.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So I made it a little steamy because the book is a little steamy.
Yes.
I guess if you could call it steamy. I guess you shouldn't call it steamy because other people will think that you're attracted to the subject matter in the book. This may be steamy for somebody, but the book is called Wet Hot Allosaurus Summer, right? By Lola Faust. And we've talked about this in the last couple episodes, but
Yep.
So, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about this book. So, if for whatever reason you are saving this book or you're saving yourself for this book and you don't want to hear how it turns out, then you can tune off right now.
Yeah, we can end now. So I read this, and previous episodes we read the trigger words, which was enjoy, ball, and self. I didn't even notice the couple paragraphs after the trigger words. So your wife told us about this book, right?
Yeah, wow.
From TikTok.
Yes.
She credits TikTok in the book.
Okay.
She says, "Thank you, lovely book talk community on TikTok,
for all the great videos and support." So
yeah, and your wife was one of those people that supported her.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that? Maybe we'll make the next printing in the thank yous. That's nice.
And she says, "No matter what you get out of reading Wet Hot Allosaurus Summer, I hope you enjoy it thoroughly."
She had no enunciation. She had no. You read it like that.
I can only assume that's how you got to read it when you put it when you phrase it that way. Wasn't I hope you thoroughly enjoy it? As I hope you enjoy it. Period. And then
you're right.
one word.
You're
thoroughly.
Right. She does emphasize it.
That's the only way to read that.
How can you I want to know what you can characterize. How was your experience reading the first chapter before we get into any specifics? How did you, when you closed the book after the first chapter, what were your thoughts?
So much happened. Like it was just, there was zero buildup. It was just go.
It jumped in.
From the moment we started reading.
The book is super thin and it's got multiple stories in it, so it's got to get right to it.
Yeah, like there was no character development. Like there's like a sentence of character. We know she watched dinosaurs from a barn. That was all we got to know. That was all. That's it.
So the setup is this is sometime in the future when a Jurassic Park-like thing has happened where they've engineered dinosaurs to roam the earth. And it's so far past that point that they've become part of the general workforce.
Yes. Interesting concept. I could see a normal sci-fi book being all right with that.
Yeah. So she took this normal sci-fi concept and took a little right turn, though.
Right.
A little sharp right turn because this woman, what was her name? Started with a T. Tanis. Tanis is obsessed with these dinosaurs that she sees working in the field. Yeah, she always sees them working in the field. Like obsessed is an understatement, I think.
Right. Specifically with their color, lots of color mentions. I noticed.
Well, I would imagine that dinosaurs are quite beautiful.
Right, with their feathers. I thought it was interesting that she has the latest theories of what dinosaurs looked like, and she included feathers on her dinosaurs.
That's right. So
they also, though, I was going to say, beyond the workforce, this is an important element because I kind of wondered before I read it, like, how does this shake out? They can communicate with each other.
Yes, but by touch.
By touch.
Right? If
They
she
have a
touches, like,
biochip. The
Yeah.
dinosaurs have a biochip that when they touch a human, they can communicate telepathically.
they can
through
convey
thought.
their thoughts, right?
Right.
Which is because I was always wondering, like, how are they talking? Is this going to be a
Right.
corny book where they're like, "I'm a dinosaur," and you're like, "Wow"?
Right.
No, but they
No,
don't.
the gal's shy. He's a little
She's
shy
very
in the
shy.
beginning.
But she's oppressed at home. She's sheltered, and she just wants to get away.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Her dad and her brother are just she's on a farm. She
Right.
doesn't know much, and she doesn't know because she only sees her family. She doesn't know
Right.
she's pretty smoking hot, apparently.
Apparently, right. And Big Al,
Big Al,
he lets her
Big
know
Al,
that.
the Allosaurus, which is hilarious. I just thought that he just like to be named Big Al, but it's because of Allosaurus. But what I thought was really funny was she's like, what do I call you? And he's like, oh, we don't really have names, but you can call me Big Al.
So simple. She loved it because it was simple.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I felt pretty weird and gross reading it still.
Yeah, I mean, it was. So I got a few. So they laid out how they communicate. Important to know. I'm glad they did that. They laid out her background on the farm. Important to know that she grew up looking at the dinosaurs. What I didn't necessarily appreciate was like so what happened? Let's do a little background on the story. I'll cliff notes it for everybody, okay?
Mhm.
She watches dinosaurs on a barn. She comes off of the barn, and Big Al is there, and they touch somehow. I'm not
They have
sure
a connection.
they have a connection, right? And he lets her know that while she's been watching him, he's also been watching her.
A little M. Night Shyamalan twist right there.
So they start to get like hugging, I would say, right? They are.
Yeah.
She's exploring the dinosaur's body with her hands as she writes it.
I would too. It's a dinosaur.
I mean, you're up close and personal with a dinosaur. Her dad's not thrilled about this. I don't think any dad would be.
No,
I would not be happy with this. So the dad finds her and says, "Get away from the dinosaur," and he has a shotgun. Not out of the realm of reality, right? Appropriate behavior. Here's where it goes off the rails. The dad just fires from the hip immediately.
Doesn't say get out of the way.
No. And blasts his own daughter in the shoulder with a shotgun.
So then Big L scoops her up. Oh, at first, no. He goes to attack her dad, and she says, "No, not my dad."
Right.
So then he scoops her up and sprints his little dinosaur legs out of the way as they're firing. And
endless stamina, apparently.
Yeah. Yes. And we clearly, because he gets far away. And the weirdest part about this whole chapter is not even the fact that it was human to dinosaur sex. That was not, believe it or not, that's not the weirdest part about this chapter. The weirdest part was that her arm, because she was blasted by her father's shotgun, it was getting dead and gray.
Yes.
And losing life.
That was a twist at the end I did not see coming.
Didn't see it coming. So
I kept thinking I'm reading the whole story and like they get down to business. I'm thinking, what about this arm? Like, so they introduce his tongue pretty early on. Right? I think it's gonna be a big player throughout the book, if I had to guess. And they introduce his tongue pretty early on. And I kept thinking like, oh, he's going to clean it.
Yeah.
Doesn't even give any attention to
almost
the wound.
ignored. Yeah.
Just goes straight for the good stuff.
But he does like while they're going at it, he does kind of lick at it a little bit, the wound.
But not in a helpful way. It is complete selfish.
Tasting it.
Right.
So then, after they're spent, after Big Al has blown his dino load, they are just laying there, and he is reserved. He's got something on his mind. And she says, "What's the matter?" And
he doesn't want to tell. He's shy.
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't think less of me."
Yeah. She realizes he doesn't want to tell her that he wants to eat her arm. Like while we were having, all I could think about was eating you. And I held back. So it's kind of like a Twilight kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Where he was like, "Oh, I want your blood, but also love you." So she does the nice thing because the arm's dead by now.
Yeah. Right.
She
it's
says,
black, it's
"Well,
gray. Yep.
you can eat my arm."
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry. What? Did I read that? You can eat my arm.
You can eat my arm.
So that was a nice little after sex treat. Was a little human arm. That was chapter 1.
Yeah. Felt the hot pain of his love as he devoured the whole thing, and boom, over. Did not expect my main character to be one-armed throughout the rest of the story.
Already. Yeah.
Did not see that coming.
No, as if she didn't have enough adversity.
Right.
So I have a couple of spots that I actually flagged because I thought were really funny.
Yeah, I got at least one as well.
This is pretty mild compared to the rest of the story, but she was describing the Allosaurus before they even really talked or met.
Yeah.
And she said his eyes were the deep green of oceans. She had only imagined him in her dreams. His cheekbones looked carved from prehistoric cliffs. His feather dew was coiffed in a sexy and hip honky-tonk curl. So I don't know if I'm bad at imagery, but I just pictured this dude having this weird blonde, like coiffed wig.
Well, here's my okay. I got one more beef with it. We talk about feathers.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Oh, this could be a different dinosaur that she. I mean, I don't want to jump to any conclusions.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big Al thing. So I'm kind of afraid that. Okay, yeah. So then those are my things. Those are the things that I marked. Were the coif, the weird description of the feather coif.
Yeah.
The fact that he just said, "Yeah, we don't have names, but you can call me Big Al." So obviously you have names.
Right.
Then, in the arm, the devouring of
that was a shock. Okay, so I got one snippet here, and it's a tad graphic, but it's not the most graphic part. But I felt like the wording choice, like it was like I don't know if it was like to be modest, but it's like what are we trying to be modest for here? So
right.
This is the story now. With his tail, he grabbed her around the waist and lifted her up so that she was face to face with him.
Mm-hmm.
One, dinosaur anatomy, right? The tails are pretty chunky towards the base. They're not like snakes. Could they actually literally is it like flexible enough to not only wrap around her, but then also get 180 to face him? Like it feels like a lot of turns for the tail to take. I'm thinking like a dog tail, right?
I agree, but do I need to remind you of these triggers? Inaccurate dinosaur anatomy for the sake of the story.
I forgot. You're right. I'll look past. I was triggered. I got triggered. I won't be anymore. She warned me.
Yeah. Oh man, you walked right into that one.
she saw it coming. I mean, I can't. My fault. Okay.
That's clearly what she meant by inaccurate dinosaur anatomy was the tail being too dexterous.
So he held her to his chest. She could feel his warmth and his power, his loving emanating. He lowered her onto his sex.
Yeah, that was a weird way to put
that. That's a weird way to say that.
Why are we
onto his sex? Like, I don't what are we being modest here? Like, what's the point?
I don't so we aren't frequenters of this type of genre, right? Maybe that is a common term in these types of novels.
Yeah.
Maybe it's chapter 1, right? You don't want to dive into like the real nitty-gritty name calling of, let's just leave it. He's got a nice sex that she's on. Yeah, I don't have any idea. I'm grasping at straws. I think it was probably a missed opportunity to really give me a word that I could giggle at.
Right.
But
like,
yeah, that was interesting.
His third horn, something like that, Let's get creative here.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
So
I am over the moon that this has come to fruition, that this idea that I had, if I put it out there, I texted it to you. I didn't get anything back. I started to I scaled back and I said, I thought, okay, I overextended. That's a weird idea. And so I didn't get anything. And then you texted back and I thought, okay, great. He's at least on board. I don't know if it would have happened or how soon. So I mailed it to you.
Yeah.
I said, we're doing this. But then once I knew it arrived, Amazon told me, then you didn't text me about it arriving. But also it was the same day. And so it was like a couple hours later. I'm like, I should probably say, hey, check your boxes.
Yeah.
So anyway, there was a lot of vulnerability that I went through to get to this point.
It was, yeah.
I'm elated that this is happening. I'm super excited because now it's all out in the open.
Yeah.
It's all out in the open.
I mean, it was an easy read. Like she's got more books. This might be the first of many here.
At a dinner party, everyone's talking about their authors. I'm a big fan of Lola Faust. Do you guys like that type of book? No?
She's into like prehistoric fiction stuff. But...
Yeah, she's got quite an imagination, and I love her point of view. So, yep, that is chapter 1 of Wet Hot Allosaurus Summer. So I can't wait to read more about Tanis and her exploits.
Yeah, I can't either. Like I said, I almost didn't stop. I almost went right to chapter 2, but I thought, nope, we're gonna wait. We're gonna go week to week. I am gonna read. I think what I did was good today. I read it today at like 3 in the afternoon. So like it's fresh in me, and I liked that. I could pull out a lot of data. So I'm gonna be a Monday reader. So I'm coming in fresh with all the little info.
Right. All right. So I think that's probably good for today. So guys, this was fun. I don't think we had any viewers here, but I hope that you view it later because it was a lot of fun doing it and organizing it and everything like that. I'm not the host here, so after I do the outro video and it goes black, then you can hit the end record button if you want. But guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share. You got to know what happens in this novel. First of all, I mean, why would you not follow along?
Right, on the edge of my seat. What is Big Al gonna get up to? Are we gonna have Al and Tanis babies? Is that possible? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
We can only hope. We can only hope. That would be a very unique way. I don't even know how she could figure that out, but Lola Faust can do anything.
Anything.
And I would read it. So
in quick order, if we learned anything from the book. Real snappy.
That's right.